I like how still the camera is. I like that it's not, I don't like too much the way that 2000s and even 2010s movies are shot, where it's all digital and...
Yeah.
There you go, G up.
Sorry? G up.
By the way, this is my first solo podcast.
First solo?
Solo.
Oh.
Usually we're two interviewing one.
Yeah.
So I'm really like...
G up, bro.
G up for it. No, it's good because I really like... I followed your page for a while now, and it's really... beautiful. Like,
thank you.
If someone asked me about Melbourne, I would probably show them your page. It's like it's got that essence.
Yeah. And where we started, by the way, is this?
We're on, yeah.
Oh, we're on. Oh, beautiful. Okay.
That's
cool.
why I'm being
Lovely.
nice now.
You're breaking my balls before, and now you're nice.
But yeah, look, thanks for coming, man.
No worries.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Why don't you tell the people?
Do you want me to, I'll talk to you. Right?
Talk to me. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Who you are and what you do.
Yeah. I do want to give a little bit of introduction, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my name's Dylan Walsh. I run Garden State Journal, and we are a Melbourne-based, we call ourselves an editorial production company, an editorial studio. And basically what that means is we specialise in Melbourne-based storytelling. We specialise in editorial, which means kind of vision-led, story-led, but also filmmaking-led. And so we try and bring kind of a filmmaking perspective to videos, brand work, content, and obviously we do a lot of our own passion stuff as well, where we do these street videos where we capture Melbourne, the suburbs. And we do, produce films, and basically it's led first from a filmmaking perspective, and we try and bring that filmmaking touch to client work, to our passion projects, to films, and everything else.
And how did you start Garden State?
So long story.
Let's go back.
Go back.
Yeah.
It's been, so where do I start the story? I mean, to go like right back, I've always been making videos and stuff and shooting since high school. And I think, or even like since I was a kid, like I wanted to make videos and stuff.
How did you discover that? Like, how did you get your first camera?
First camera? I think it was did like a little digital camera, like 2000s, more like 2010s. YouTube's kind of starting, and YouTube and like you're seeing like the Casey Neistats and all that stuff. So I grew up a lot on movies. I loved movies. I loved watching. My dad would like introduce me to a lot of old films, and then I think. But then I think I kind of also grew up in that YouTube era, and growing up in that era where like I had cousins that were older and they taught me how to like pirate movies and stuff. So I was like, like figuring out these ways to like download just like niche, 70s, 80s, 90s movies, and kind of like building my palette, or my kind of like my filmmaking palette.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like YouTube, and I think YouTube was a big thing where it's like, oh, well, I can kind of like, all these people just running around with cameras, like I can do that, right? So that was like a big part. YouTube was definitely a big part of it, and then so I was kind of like into it. I was doing these little videos with my mates and with friends and stuff, and then basically. Yeah, when I was 16 or 17, I had my group of friends, actually, I'm not friends with people I'm still friends with now, and we had this running joke about like, we should make a film about like our life growing up in the north, and like our experience like growing up in Fawkner and Glenroy, and like that we have so many interesting stories, and our group's so funny. And I like kind of took this joke seriously. I was like, no, like I want to like like make this movie. Like I want to like tell this story. And that's kind of where I think that like where I really say my journey like seriously begins is then, because I went and saved up for the camera I actually still use today. Like I use Blackmagic cameras. I bought those cameras when I was like 16, 17, and I still actually use them today. So that's kind of where I kind of pinpoint the start of the journey, because like that's where I still kind of, I've been working since that point to now, 23.
And for those who don't know, you're 23 right now.
Yes.
So that was like
Six,
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you go to like film school or?
No, I went to uni for about a year after high school, and then yeah, I was doing Garden State Journal in this form, so I kind of came up with the name and the idea, and kind of wanting to put it a little bit like I was doing a bit of a print magazine, so I was doing this print magazine and I was putting that out, and then I think I was doing the print magazine, and then obviously I was like, oh, I want to create something kind of like the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, that kind of vibe, and I wanted to like make something that had a name that was like represented Melbourne, but I could do the print stuff, and I could do films or movies or videos, whatever. And then that's kind of where I came up with Garden State Journal. I was like, oh, it's kind of a name that represents, it's kind of a journal of Garden State, Victoria. It's like on the number
It's a genius name, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's
it was a
beautiful.
combination of a few things. I think I'd been talking to friends and they're like, oh, I'd like this. And I just put a bunch of things together. And I was like, GSJ works, it rolls off the tongue. And so, yeah.
So you went to uni for a year, and what did you study?
I was just doing an arts degree.
Okay.
I wasn't doing film stuff.
Why did you drop?
Oh, well, I think I left uni because I was doing GSJ. So I started shooting the street videos. I started going around making little videos and putting it up, and probably hit a really sweet spot where TikTok was like really encouraging that kind of stuff. So through TikTok, I think that was then encouraging people to go to the Instagram, to then people were liking the magazine I was doing, and they were liking the videos. And then eventually I started getting, I was doing these suburb videos where I'd go around, and I was just kind of like, wasn't really sure what I was doing, but I was just shooting the streets of Melbourne, a Saturday in Collingwood, a Sunday in Lightline Street, all that stuff.
In your very own style, though. That's why I think people kind of resonated with it.
Yeah.
Especially people from Melbourne.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was like, just doing my thing, and just kind of, it wasn't really, I was just like, I think more than anything, I wasn't trying to, make videos to go viral. I was just like, oh, I want to just make something that I'm proud of, but kind of can still can still translate through social media. So it was like, I can still do Instagram videos and reels, but I can like make it filmic, can make it my own, and not just, I don't know, like, I'm sure there's a million other versions of that, but I was like, oh, it needed to feel like my own, and it needed to feel like it belonged to me. Anyway, so I was doing that, and I think, it was 2021, and then eventually some people started coming to me and saying, hey, would you be interested in, shooting a video for this brand or whatever?
Did you have followers at that time?
Yes. Yeah. I think I jumped to like 12,000.
Okay.
And I think, I had a broadsheet, had written an article about our work, and I was posting like very regularly at that point. So I had like a big jump, probably hit a sweet spot with TikTok. Like there would be days where like the TikTok just like did really well, and like a certain video would get me, a couple thousand followers. So it grew to like 10 to 12. And then I think around that point, I mean, like obviously I've been doing it for probably a few months at that point, and not, doing it as commercially. I was just doing it for fun and helping my friends with videos, and doing friends had clothing brands or whatever. I do videos. And then I'm not speaking too loud, am I, by the way?
No, you're good.
I get loud.
You're killing it. You're killing it.
I think it's the Maltese in me. My mum speaks very loud. She gets angry. So
it's also the room, man.
Anyway, so, and then people just started asking me, oh, would you want to shoot this for our brand or whatever? And I was like, of course. And then I think I just kind of naturally it felt right. I was like, oh, well, look, people are asking me, they're going to pay me good money to do this. Let's just have a shot at this. Let's just see where it goes. And, there's still, I'm not obviously, didn't go to film school or anything. So there was so many, I'm still learning every day. I'm still learning so much, but, I was, I'm I said to my parents, like, I'm going to leave uni for a little bit. I'm going to try this, and people want to pay me to do it. Like, let's just pursue it and see where it goes. And
Gee.
and then that's it.
And how was it like at that time? Like, it's like you're getting approached by Broadsheet. That's a big, like, gig.
Who's that? Sorry, who's that?
You got approached by Broadsheet, right?
Oh, Broadsheet, yeah.
Like, it's a big gig. Like, were you just humble or excited or like running around telling your friends I'm fucking working with these guys, or like?
I don't know. Yeah, I think... No, I definitely like got excited. Like, I'm not gonna say like, oh, I was just having that. I was like, fucking, I was like excited. Like, yeah, it's happening for me. But you go through phases of like, I'm doing a lot of videos, and then I'm doing these videos, and then I'm getting client work. People give me money, and then it goes quiet. And it all depends on, the time of year and sorry, it's boring, but it's just like if the financial year's ending or whatever, like you might get a bunch of work, and then it goes through quiet period. So. I'm very like something when I kind of had that broadsheet writing and stuff, and then I got some work. Something like really struck timing wise, and in fucking whatever you want to call it, the universe, astrology, whatever you want to call it, fate, whatever it is, like something like clicked very well for a period of time where I was, and then something like clicked, and I was kind of like, oh, I need to just keep doing this. And that's why I was like, I have to leave uni, because I was like, something is working. I've worked for this. Like I've at this point, this is like years into me having bought that camera and wanting to do stuff. So I'm like, I felt like in a weird way, that was a continuation of the journey I'd started when I was like 17. And I was like, now it's paying off.
And from 17 to 20, did you... 21, whenever your TikTok started to like grow, did you know you wanted to do this full time, or were you just like fucking around and like not really putting any pressure on?
You gotta for me, you gotta remember, like, that time was when COVID had happened. So like 17 and 20, like most of that we were in lockdown. So I did my year 12 media project, and that was like one of the few things I kind of got to. My year 12 one, I got to shoot, and like I made something I was like happy with, and I was like, oh, I do really like this, and like I knew that I was like interested in directing and wanted to do it. I just think I wasn't obviously sure about, so much of things. Like, we're in lockdown, so it's like, oh, where is this going? Like, are we gonna fucking be here for another 2 years, 3 years? So I kind of did stuff. I kind of was writing and thinking about things, but I didn't really know where it was going to go, because no one knew where the world was going to go, right? So I kind of was just like, I want to do this. Like, I know this is for me. I know this is something I'm passionate about. But like, I don't know. There was soul searching. Kind of growing up. I'm finishing high school, starting uni. Not really liking uni. So I was just kind of up in the air. Eventually, sometimes I go out and shoot stuff. And I think, it just hit 20 or 21, and something in me went like, this is time. Like, it's time to do this. And then, just slow burn from there.
So the first like real projects were with that broadsheet series, the mini series you did with like Francois and A1. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, like you went from like just going around the street and like just creating freely, no expectations. To working with one of the biggest PR and like media
companies,
media companies in like Australia.
Yeah.
Like, how did you manage between like your expression and their expectations?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
No, that's a great question. I think the way I felt early on was, if I dig my feet in and create something that is very, very me, there still are, like, people still approach us, and GSJ is like business now, an organization, and they ask for things that we aren't really the best fit for. And, you got like, maybe might even be a better fit for you guys or someone else or a different creator, or, a different production company, right? So we get approached for those things still, but I think the way I felt at the time very early on was like, I've got to like double down on my style and not change it too much, because the more that I do that, then when these opportunities come up that people are going to come to me, they're coming to me for that reason, because they like our style, they like what we do. And so I think when Broadsheet came to us, there were obviously some creative changes and the music changes, and they didn't want this thing, they didn't want absolutely. But at the same time, I think it was like, no, we're getting him because we like this style, we like this thing, right? So there always is. Like, there's always now these little changes I'm making, or compromises here and there with certain brands and certain companies, and sometimes you'll pitch them on something and they just say, no, we don't want that, we want this. But there's a bit of a tug of war, but to a high degree, I think they are coming to us knowing, because they like the work, because they want
style.
to see themselves in that style.
Yeah.
That the brand. So I think Broadsheet, at the start when they said they wanted, so it's funny, like after they wrote the article, they'd written the article about our work first, like just telling about the videos we're doing. And then they said in the email, like, oh, we'd love to work together down the line. And I thought, oh yeah, like sure. Like, they don't actually mean that.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 months later, they followed up and said, oh no, like, we're serious. Like, we want to like work with you. I don't remember the exact time. I think it was 3 months, maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, like, we want to work with you. And I think, yeah, part of me, by the point they'd actually come back and said that they want to work with us, or work with just me at that point, because it was just me, it made sense. It wasn't anymore like, oh wow, these people want to work with me. There is one I'll get to, like that, like when Mercedes-Benz, that was like, oh wow, because Mercedes is like a dream brand for me. Like, that's like a bucket list one, right?
Unbelievable.
Like I love the Merc brand. Like, I love the cars. I love what it represents. So that was like a one where I was like, oh wow. But when Broadsheet had initially said, hey, we want to work with you, after they'd written, I'm like, no, it makes sense. Like, we should be making videos with them. Like, that's their brand, that's their audience. We have this style. There's a great merging of brand and
I love that.
and ideas. So it didn't feel like, and again, I think a lot of work that was coming in that time, and even now, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, we should be doing that. Yeah, I'd like to say up here and go, oh wow, like I was so humble, but it just, at a certain point, it just like made sense. Like, no, like, we're good at this, we're great, we've worked really hard. No one else is doing something in this way. Like, and in many ways, man, like I always have known, like, I'm a Melbourne storyteller. I'm like, I fucking have this idea of what this city is, and like, and what it means to me, and what it could be as well. So I'm like, yeah, no, like, we should be telling those stories. Like, of course they should ask us to do it.
Do you think one of your style would work in Sydney?
Well, I've done one street video in Sydney.
Yeah.
There. I think it would work. I think it would translate. That's a good question. I think it would translate overseas, absolutely.
Yeah. And
interstate, overseas.
Yeah. Do you like, does it worry you that you like promoting yourself and your business as like a Melbourne storytelling?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Not at all. I do want to work overseas. Like, I'd love to take this overseas and work with brands overseas, but there's like a personal part of me that wants to do it here, and there's also a business part of me, because I think, like, the personal part of me, so I'll do the business part of me first. The business part of me is like, yeah, I don't see many people doing like what we're doing here or overseas. So the business part of me is like, one thing at a time. Let's start small. Let's build here. Let's build our base here. I don't think even Melbourne, or I don't think in terms of what we do as a platform and the brand we have, I don't think there are many. I think there are creators that are doing that, and even and certain agencies or whatever. But we obviously have a very specific thing that we do, and a niche that we do. And so I'm like, no, let's double down on that. Let's just do that. And then let's do it here, because that's what we know. And this is like, I've grown up here and I live here. And so then I think that then ties in with the personal part of me. That's like, no, like, this is my city. Like, I fucking live here. Like, of course I'm going to do it here. Of course I want to do it here. And I just don't know, I just don't believe all this stuff about, like you can only go, like, you know, the whole thing of even like actors and people like have to go overseas because like you have to make it overseas. Like it doesn't, I don't know. I just think
Step by step.
Step by step.
I think one of the hardest parts about being a creator or a creative is actually the style. Like I picked my first camera 12 years ago and till this day, I struggle so much to just like know what my style is because I don't know that, and everyone's journey is different, but I've done so many different things. I've done weddings, I've done food, I've done corporate, I've done real estate, and you know, like right now we're focused on hospitality. And I know I do have a style, but like I think what you have created is really special, and it's one of the hardest thing in being a creative to just really develop a style and like stick to it, because us creatives, like we always kind of curious, and like especially these days, like you're watching everyone else and what their style is, and you're like, oh, I want to try this. But I feel like personally, from watching you from outside, I feel like you really, like I could blindly watch a video and know that it's coming from your page, and I think that's really
thank you.
special.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I love hearing that. I love when people say, oh, like, I know that's a GSJ video. I know that's even things that we don't do and other people rip us off.
What would you tell someone that's starting out? Like, what advice would you give them to like, to help them find their style, or like, what's your personal experience? Like, how did it all come out and is what it is right now?
Good question. I don't know. I think it's just more about more than anything. I think that is just more about lived experience. Like I don't think I think the point at which you arrive at putting your hands on the camera or sitting down to write a story or to edit something, I think it's all about what happens before that, as opposed to, you know, like when you're on the tools and you're like, oh, now I'm gonna, like, there is obviously process and being out shooting and figuring out how to pull focus and what you want to shoot and how you want to shoot it and all that stuff. But to me, it's like it comes from life first and then into the work. Does that make sense? Like, I think it's a life thing first, and then now there are so many things in my work that I understand. I'm like, oh, that's me. Like, that's me expressing myself or who I am. But that comes through in the work. I think, you know, like, you know, for example, like even the street videos, the shooting people, like capturing the ordinary, like I think for me, that comes from more a personal place of, you know, growing up in the north and even just in Melbourne in general. Like no one is kind of saying, oh wow, look how beautiful this is. You know what I mean? Like
you're right. You absolutely are right. Yeah.
No one's saying, look how beautiful this is. And so my style is kind of born out of a reaction to circumstance or reaction to the world. Like, so I don't know, to answer the question of like, oh, what would I tell? And it's just like, I don't really have much good advice on that. It's
just intuition, I would say.
Like actually, I guess, living your life and then letting that come through the work. Like not trying to sit there. Like, I think you could like sit there and watch 50 million movies and go like, oh, like I'm trying to, but if you just like watch the movies that you're kind of like drawn to, and the movies or like from, you know, just like watching the movies, like even like, oh, people would say, oh, the way you develop it is you have to watch the top 100 Letterboxd most famous movies of all time. And I just think those things are bullshit. Like I just think that's where all the unique storytellers, musicians, it all comes from this really hyper niche place of them liking one thing, or liking being inspired by a certain part of their childhood or their upbringing or something, and just exploring that, not doing, which is again kind of like coming back to uni. That's kind of why was like, I didn't feel drawn to it. It was just like, I'm going to be told I have to watch these movies and research these films, but I'm just like not interested in that. I'm just not interested in those things. So,
and like you said, like right now, you're identifying your business as like a production kind of.
Editorial.
Yeah. What made you move from being a creator to more of a business side of things? And like, because I think this is a very interesting topic, especially with like the current economy. Like a lot of brands are actually heading towards being a creator because it's kind of like one person, and people and bigger brands are resonating more with it. But if you're like a production, you're more like a team, and you lose that charm. What made you?
Oh, because you're saying people are going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like people are going towards, it has to be individual brand. It has to be like putting like brand owners or clothing brand owners, like putting their face first.
Yeah, like everyone is a creator these days. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a creator, content creator. But you're going back to like the old school of like, I almost feel like even your brand started as a creator, and then what made you make that shift?
It's like you said, I think it's old school. I think like there's something about the brand that like the name Garden State Journal, and I think there's something about it that feels like a legacy New York Times or something like that, or The Age, or the Morning Herald or something of that vibe, where I think our brand and what we are, it feels like it's a fictional world, as opposed to just like, this is just my voice, or this is just Dylan speaking as an individual. So ours is it's kind of a world to live in and for brands to live in. It's like there's a room and it's styled a certain way and it looks a certain way, and there's the coffee cups look a certain way and the chairs look a certain way, and we're inviting certain brands obviously to come and live within that space. So I hope that answers the question.
Of course, I
think it just like makes sense for the time and the place, and I think to answer the question of like, why going towards a brand or a business or a big idea as opposed to just like myself doing it, is I think like just now I'm getting older and my ambitions are obviously changing, and I'm like wanting different things. So I'm like, I'm wanting different things. I think now I have all the knowledge to bring other people on, educate a team, grow a team. And also by doing that, it's kind of like the next challenge is further refining what is Garden State Journal, what is the idea, as opposed to doing it by myself. I'm sure you feel the same. Like having a team that actually pushes you to articulate yourself better and to
be better.
In general, be better in general, in life, in whatever, right? So
love that. And like, what's your vision for it? Like, what's your vision for Garden State
in the future?
Yeah. In an ideal world.
Ideal world. I was taking a minute.
You have some homework to do. Look, let's just say 3 to 5 years vision.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years. We would still be like a small team, but everyone is across the board of like what we're doing, and everyone's like on the same page, and we have a vision of I think we want to work with great brands that align with what we do, and we want to work with great brands, tell great stories, and then move more into eventually television. Like I'd love to do television. Not that interested in film. We're producing someone, Jasper Newman, who works with us. He shot a film last year, and we're producing it and helping him put it together. So obviously, film is part of our DNA and what we do, but helping produce we had another friend of ours who works with us a bit and helped produce his short film. So kind of like moving into producing and again helping other people in our team bring stories to life. And that doesn't always have to mean that they're aligned with the look and vibe of GSJ, but obviously then on my end of my what I want from it, aside from just the client work and the brand and all that is, I just want to further expand on that kind of like our style, but add more nuance to it. So do more scripted brand stuff, obviously do television, absolutely, and do a series. But everything is in the guise or in the vein of Garden State Journal. It has that touch of, you'll see GSJ on it, and you'll see, the same way that when you identify like an Apple product, like there's something that's uniquely Apple about the interface and the design or whatever, right? Like that's what Garden State Journal is. Like you'll know, they're doing movies now, or they're doing music videos, or they're doing this or that, but everything is, you can feel that that's Garden State Journal.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where it's going to take us. Like I don't really have a solid answer for that, but wherever it takes us, you'll know, like, that's them doing that, because I know, what it looks like. So. And
you spoke about the team. What are you looking for when you're like hiring? Like you're still young, 23-year-old, and you're running the business now, and it's a lot of responsibility and pressure. Like, what are you looking for when you're like it? I speak of myself. When we first started hiring, it felt a bit surreal. It's like being the boss. It's like it's a bit weird.
It's weird.
How do you deal with it?
Oh, I'm very lucky that the people that I've worked with, or the people I work with, are all of the great choices we've made in terms of people on our team are all people who have naturally kind of come into my life. So Jasper, who works with us, we met through ItchPig. We were doing a job for ItchPig, and we're doing the job at ItchPig because my friend Simon was working at ItchPig for a while. So it all kind of naturally, I ended up working with ItchPig on a few client jobs, and then Jasper was working there, and I was like, oh, who's this guy? I kind of like him. But then I was also like, at the time, his role was to kind of like tell me what the vision was that I was, supposed to do.
Brief me. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I like him, but also I'm like, he's kind of like bossing me around a bit. Not on purpose. Like,
That's so funny.
So I was like, I don't know. But then over time, we worked on stuff together, and we built this relationship, and I go, I really liked it. Like, I really like, more than skills, or like a bit more than skills, it was two things. It was just like taste. Like I look at it, because I look at him, and he drives this Jeep around, this old Jeep Wrangler around, and he's got these chops and this long hair. I'm like, I like this guy, I like this person. Do you know what I mean? And I like his vibe, and we just would work together on stuff, and he would help, like, oh, do you want to come help on something? And then we just naturally built a relationship from that, of just even friendship as well, like just friends, like being friends. Which obviously some people would say can be a weakness in business, but maybe I'll turn around 5 years and say I'm wrong, but so far it's been a strength. Is like everyone, like they're all my like best friends. So Adriana, who works with us as well, she's my partner. So like, obviously you got your relationship and work, and that's a lot, but like it's just, I don't know, it's just natural. Like,
That sounds to me like, like you're still like a small team, and I feel like you have the space to do that, and it's actually really special.
Yeah.
It's like how we operate, you know what I mean? Like for us, it's very important. Whoever is coming in the team is like, it's not just skilled. Also like
get along with everyone.
Can connect. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like when you're a small team and you have like someone that is not really connected to the rest of the team, it can create a little bit of like tension.
Absolutely.
Weirdness. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's go hang out, but you can't really
bring that one person.
So I think it's when you're a small team, I don't see any problem with
it. I'd rather also just grow. Like, the great thing about this is, I feel like I genuinely feel like I've started young. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like like if in 10 years, it's a different story, right? But for right now, like, I'm just happy working with like this group, and we do like turn down a few things, or we do go, look, like we probably don't have the capacity to do that without having to sacrifice that. So I think we are at a very sweet spot right now. I mean, maybe I'm speaking naively, and I'll think different about it in a year or even less time. But for right now, like, we're just very happy with our small group of people and really not losing the quality. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, you could scale really quickly and grow really quickly, but I think no matter what form we do this in, like, it's always going to have that touch, and these people all have that quality. So I wouldn't trade that for anything, because it just makes life so much more fun as well.
Yeah. I'd love to talk a little bit more about your creative process, starting with the stuff you started shooting at the start with, which is like the street stuff, the suburbs, the culture. Like, do you go with an intention, or do you just go and shoot and then like at the edit you'll figure out like, okay, this could be titled like in Street at Night, or how tell me about your creative
good
process.
Question. Creative process. So I think when I started, I didn't really know. I was like, oh, I'm going to go and shoot this street because I've never seen anyone shoot that before.
On your own?
On my own, yeah. So I'd go out, you know, when I started shooting these street videos, like 20, you know, even then, like $20, you know, still living at home. And my mum was like, why are you going out with the camera? Like, what? Be careful. Like, I'll be like, I'm going to Sydney Road with the camera. So I'll be like, oh,
what are you taking with you?
I thought that was funny. Your mum's the same way.
What are you taking with you? Which camera? And like, do you take a tripod? Or?
Yeah, always. I always knew tripod. Like, I was like, I want to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. If everyone else is going to be quick and running around with the camera, I don't know, maybe it's just some instinctive mentality or whatever. But my instinctive mentality is just do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Like, I'm a bit stupid, but like, it works for me. So like, I'm going out, I'm taking the tripod and I'm parking myself in one spot, and it's almost the discipline. I kind of like felt like I have to have the discipline to be able to like plant myself somewhere and figure out.
So you're just panning with people. That's literally you pan, because there is a lot of movement in your videos as well.
Yeah, it's panning. Yeah, it's all movement, but it's all still. It's because I think what I'd identified was so around 18, 19, 20. Like, you know, I wasn't really making stuff in that time, but I was watching so many movies that were in the 70s movies. Again, because I think I got onto like torrenting, so I was like, oh, I like that actor. Like, let's go see what else he's in. And obviously, like, Scorsese. So like, Scorsese is like your opening to that. Like, oh, you watch Mean Streets and Taxi Driver, and I'm not sure if you watch Scorsese stuff.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's kind of like the opening, and then I'm like, oh well, I'd watch other Scorsese stuff, but I wasn't interested in it. I was like, oh, I think what I actually like is the 70s vibe of the 70s and the way that they made films in the 70s. So I kept watching just like go down this rabbit hole and like find out the Al Pacino movies and James Caan and De Niro and you know, Gene Hackman stuff. And then I think I was like, what do I like about this? I was like, I like how still the camera is. I like that it's not. I don't like too much the way that 2000s and even 2010s movies are shot, where it's all digital and cameras moving, and even like the way Christopher Nolan shoots stuff. So like people like. People like suck his dick. Like, sorry,
you want something a bit more raw, like
he found that funny. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't like I don't know. I just didn't like too much of the digital in movies. Like, I just didn't resonate with that. Maybe I was like looking for escapism of like watching these old movies, and it was like a different time and a different vibe and whatever. But I just liked how still the camera was and how simple it was. And it was like, for me, it was just like whatever was in front of the camera was more important than the filmmaking.
The movement.
Right? So, and that's what I liked about the 70s films was the casting was so good. Like, Gene Hackman or Roy Scheider was like the lead in Jaws. You ever watch Jaws? Like, the guy who plays the sheriff. And his face tells the story. You know, you don't need complicated camera movements because they're so well dressed, and their faces, that casting was so interesting. And so I think when I would go out on the shoot, I was kind of like trying to make, like, almost like trying to bring the 70s to life in my own mind. It was like, these 70s movies, the way that they were shot, the way that the camera wouldn't move, but it would just kind of pan, and you would just, you wouldn't make certain stylistic decisions. So I'd shoot it, and then obviously I'd color it that way as well, and I would use music of that same vibe. And
what do you edit on?
DaVinci. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you shoot on Blackmagic.
Blackmagics, yeah.
And what lens are you using?
I'm joking. No, I'm joking. I use a lot of the time now we use digital stuff, just all digital stuff, and we just color it the way we like it.
And then like most of your work is like following basically the same style.
I'm not gatekeeping them.
No, it's not about gatekeeping.
I get them off. Sometimes I get them. The old ones I get them off eBay. Sometimes I get them, but sorry. The only reason I'm like about that question is because I get so many people who like ask me that, and it's like they think like, oh, if I just find out what lens he uses, that's like the secret recipe. But it's like so much more to it than that. Like,
but that's why I'm asking also.
Yeah.
It's like, because I know people would be interested in that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's an interesting, you know, it's an interesting thought. And I feel like that's why we're here for, to get people in the brain of Dylan.
It's more in the color, I think. People like what people like. Because the 70s films were very low contrast, because I think that what they would do is, I only understood this recently. I think Jasper actually explained it to me, but they would underexpose a lot of the images. So when they would, get the film developed, they would bring the color up. So everything from the bottom got lifted, like the shadows, and it got this kind of like less, again, that kind of modern look is that super contrasty, super saturated, super like the blacks are really black and the reds are really red and the oranges are really orange, right? So I think the answer, like what we do, I think it's more like, we use all different lenses, but it's all in the color and the vibe and like
obviously you're shooting people in public, and sometimes it's intimate, like, you know, couples, whatever. It's beautiful to watch. Do you ever get like criticized or like attacked online?
A little on. People ask me like, oh, do people come up to you when you're shooting and have a problem with it? And obviously, with some of the, because we would do so much street stuff. I've only had a few times where people have like come up to me like, oh, what are you doing? The way I always felt about it, even when I started, was like, everyone's going around taking photos on their phones these days. Like, what's the difference?
And no one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares.
I feel that way. Like, everywhere's so desensitized to it. It almost is the perfect time, because even it's funny, you watch old footage of like news stuff and all that stuff, like the 60s, and people are so like, people see the camera and they get so scared. Whereas now I think we're just so desensitized to it because like phones and video and.
But still, the camera is a bit of a like scary thing for people in the street. I did a lot of street photography. In fact, so I never shot street photography in Lebanon. And I shot 7 years before I came here. And then when I came here, I was so fascinated by the city, obviously. It was the first time I left Lebanon in my life. So coming to Melbourne was like a shock for me. But I was, so fascinated by everything. So, and I wasn't driving, so I was doing a lot of public transport. So I will take my camera with me, and I was just interested in everything around me. And I started to learn about street photography. I wasn't exposed to it before. And I fell in love with it. I had my camera on me all the time, and I got really obsessed with it. And it was actually it was my way to just get over like being homesick. And, I was really in my element on the street, and I got better at it. And like, I've obviously like started to
put those skills in other places,
but also follow other people and like learn from better street photographers and learn about the history. And I created some work that I'm really proud of. And after 4 years of coming here, I went back to Lebanon for the first time in my life. Not in my life, but for the first time after moving. and I took a point and shoot with me, and I can tell you very proudly, I literally created the best work of my life in that trip. And I lived in Lebanon like for 23 years, and I never saw that.
Yeah. Did you do it before? Did you do like before you came? Only when you came back?
Not in Lebanon. When I visited Lebanon after 4 years of coming to Australia, I went and did street photography there, and I literally created the best work in my life. But the crazy thing is, like, I never saw it when I lived there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now back in Melbourne, I don't go and shoot street photography anymore because I live here and it's not fascinating for me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, what you do is kind of really special, because it's just highlighting the ordinary and like the stuff that we just don't see anymore.
Was anyone weird about it when you shot there? Like, did anyone come?
Well, that's the thing. Like, obviously, I had few accidents because street photography is very confronting. I mean, if I'm doing it, I'm just fucking. You just go for it. Street photography is like really confronting. Like, you'll probably get to someone like that close and shoot them, and you know, you just keep going. But then right now I'm definitely less excited, but also like I don't know, I feel like I'm scared to break people's privacy doing street photography. I have that filter now for some reason. When I go away, like when I travel, I feel like it's easier for me.
Because you kind of got nothing to lose. Because you're like, I'm here only for a short amount of time or whatever.
I like, obviously, if there is like a protest or like an Anzac Day, or I think it's easier because like people are just there is big crowds. But to go down the city now and, you know, like there is a lot of good photos, but I'm just a bit hesitant to, so I'm not doing it much anymore.
Is it what part of it is it you think, is it just like the privacy thing?
It's just the privacy, like I just don't know if I want to be in people's space. But again, look, the thing with like street photography, like for me, my style is I have to be close, really close.
Oh, you like that real, like getting in people's almost like,
it's like I put myself in that. It's a bit weird.
I know. Because it's funny, because sometimes you see videos of people who are doing street photography. And they're like, there's that dude in New York who would, like, this old dude who would just like get in people's faces.
Bruce Gilden.
And sometimes I watch those videos, I'm like, that's cool. And sometimes I watch them, I'm like, what a prick. Bro.
It's a weird thing. I know.
Prick. Like, you just like like people like, it's almost a bit dehumanizing the person, right? Because you're saying like, you're just like, oh, you just like grab a quick, like, you know what I mean?
But it's also like really beautiful. Like when you actually look at the photo, it's such a good photo.
The way he captures people, it's so vulnerable. It's like, but also like they kind of like don't want it, but.
And it's in the street as well. So I mean,
I'm one to talk. I fucking go on the street and video people all the time. I don't want to.
Did you ever get anyone saying? Did you ever get anyone saying that like delete this because I'm in it?
Nah, people on the street have come up to me and said, or like more when I'm shooting at venues, right?
Venues.
So I'll tell you a funny one.
Oh my God. Let's talk about venues.
I'm talking. We're shooting at Francois. And Francois is so busy.
Of
course. It was myself and I took my mate Sid, but like he was just like come like hang out, and I'm like, we were just like, oh, like come to this shoot because he like lives around there. And I was like, oh, come to the shoot, and in Francois there's like a side corridor where like where they have all of there's a side corridor where like behind like where the storage room is or whatever, and there's like there's like it's so small. There's the bar, there's like the kitchen, and then there's like this like side room, and there's like bottles of wine, like probably fucking $300 bottles of wine or whatever. So I'm like, we're like in this little space, and I'm like looking, I'm like, oh my God, like don't knock anything. Like this is like we could. So there's that much room, and the thing is, so I'm used to setting up. At that point, I'm never really, not never, but I'm so used to going to restaurants, or even like when I did the Pellegrini's shoot for Broadsheet. that broadsheet series, I was able to set up a tripod and still capture from across the room and stuff. But in this room, like, and in Francois, like, these people are paying top dollar to be there. So I was like, I cannot set up a tripod in here, like, and there's no room for me to. So I'm like shooting through the corridors and like shooting like literally like with these long lenses, like standing from. But then I'm kind of like getting into that privacy thing of like, oh, these people are like at a really fancy restaurant, and like I've got to be careful because just like I don't know, just the way you shoot it. And then there's this guy sitting, and then I'm like, there's this guy sitting at the bar, and he's in like his 60s, and he's with like a 20-year-old blonde girl. And then I was like, oh, see where this is going. And then the waiter comes up to me and he was like, oh yeah, that guy just came over and said like, yeah, don't film him. I'm like, oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. His wife's scrolling on broadsheet and she said, is it my husband?
Crazy.
Is it my husband? Who's that? Yeah,
Look, it's very intimate venues because we work with like old restaurants and cafes. It's intimate, and I find it really harder when it's a restaurant than a cafe. I feel like restaurant is more like of a serious. I mean, if you compare like you did like A1 and Francois, it's like a massive difference. How do you like manage to like get through these like challenges on set, like
on like those shoots?
Like
now I'm so desensitized to it. Because like at the start, obviously, I'm sure you felt the same way. Like first time you shoot a restaurant and there's people around you and they're all looking like, why is this guy with a camera?
Yeah.
The initial feeling is like, what? Like, oh, what am I doing? Like
what am I doing in my life?
What am I doing? Like, I felt that way the first few shoots, even like first few like client jobs we did. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, is this like what? Yeah, it just felt weird and but over time, you just build up a tolerance to it, right? You just slowly get used to doing it, I don't know, just over time you get used to it. You just like, I just kind of realized like you kind of have to just like not give a fuck. Like you kind of can't like not be confident. You can't be like, I'm sure you feel the same way. It's like, no, you can't be like, man. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'll get out your way. Like I'm standing here, I'm shooting, you get out of my way.
Of course.
And it's actually funny because that like, I feel like that, you just take that into like that confidence. You just like can take that into life. It's like, no, you got to like, just like kind of like put your feet down, but I'm shooting here. Like you get out of my way. You know what I mean?
What's your favorite thing to shoot? Like favorite, I don't know, niche or style, not style, I guess. Like, what's your favorite thing to shoot?
That's a great question.
Like one thing that you can just shoot every day for the rest of your life.
Oh, well, my genuine thing that I would love to shoot, but it's so funny because like it goes hand in hand with, you know, a client, you know, like I love shooting the old. I'll come back to it. To answer your question, it goes hand in hand. It's like, so like there's things that I love shooting, but then that kind of comes with, you have these rose-colored glasses on about, I want to shoot that so bad. So you might get the offer, like you might love a certain restaurant. I love that restaurant. You get offered to shoot that restaurant. And all of a sudden they're kind of pushing you around the price, or they're kind of being difficult, and they're kind of like screwing you over a little bit. So there's this thing you got to be careful of, is like the purse, like I love this, but the people who might give me the money to do that thing that I really love, you got to not confuse that. You might be too a bit emotionally invested in it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to like talk shit about them, but like, yeah, probably like there have been times where like there are certain suburbs or certain places that I really am like, I would love to, I obviously would go and shoot it for fun, but now someone's like, oh, I'll give you money to do that. And you know, so you're getting paid to do it for a brand or for an agency or whatever. And then again, it's like you kind of can get soured over, oh, like I love this thing, but now I'm kind of confusing that with a job and all that stuff. So it's hard. It's like now I do it for work. So it's like to do it for work, but also to still enjoy it and all that stuff. But sorry, to answer your question, like if I could just shoot one thing and not be thinking about I'm getting paid for it or just shoot it.
Just shoot.
I love just like the old Sydney Road side of Coburg. So there's a Sydney Road side of Coburg where Pentridge is. Pentridge is like the prison.
Oh yeah, Pentridge. Yeah.
And if you go up to where Sydney Road is, where Sydney Road meets Bell Street.
Yeah. I know Sydney Road. Yeah.
If I could just for the rest of my life, like for until it changes significantly, shoot the corner of Sydney Road and Bell Street, and someone gave me the money to make a documentary about that's Sydney Road and Bell Street.
That's like, the weird intersection.
Yeah,
there, right? It's close to the kebab shop that you shot as well.
Melbourne Kebab Station,
where the old guys they just kick it there. Yeah, I worked on Sydney Road for a while. Yeah,
Coburg Mall.
Yeah.
I if I could just, again, it's like someone goes, let me make a documentary about that, or I would just love spending months, and I want to. Every time I shoot there, I'm like, I need to capture the essence of what this is, because one day some prick's going to come and fucking knock down the buildings and put high-rise apartments there or whatever. Yeah. But it's right now it is so beautiful, and captures, to me, what that pocket captures is what I love about like the North, like what I love about where I've grown up, is that encapsulates.
Tell me about what do you love about where you grew up, like?
Well, that's why I would shoot, because it just perfectly, like, that is, like, it's funny because I didn't really grow up going to Coburg, Sydney, at Foley's Mall, right? I kind of went later on, and I was like, either I was going to shoot or I was just going to, like, I didn't really spend that much time in Coburg area growing up, but I realized that there was like a thing that I loved. And later on, like maybe when I was like 18, 19, 20 going there, I was like, this is like a summary, or this is like everything I love in one place. And to answer like what is like everything I love about where growing up, it's just like, the first thing I noticed was like the wog brick houses. Like I loved the brick. I don't know, like the brick on like the beautiful old homes, that almost orangey red brick, and I loved these homes, and I just loved because like that was on my mum's side, my grandparents, like, remember like growing up spending a lot of time in like one of those houses, so like my mum's side of the family, my dad's Aussie, and my mum's side of the family, moved to Australia. Our mum was like the only one who was born here, so I grew up around from Malta. Yeah. So I grew up a lot around my cousins and my aunties and uncles, and like I was very, very close with my grandparents. And I think that, to me, like it, like again, those homes, those streets, the North, like that reminds me just of a time period in my life, or it reminds me of growing up, and that like, and I think, I just, obviously I've been so shaped by where I've grown up, and like, all my mates who I'm all still like friends with today. And, so like, I think a lot of that comes through in my work, is like, I want to like shoot those things. Like I'll try throwing a shot of like an old building or something that it's more for me because it like reminds me of something, or or just like a memory or something like that. So, I don't know how to like sum it up. I think the brick is like a beautiful way of thinking it. Like, it's just
the way you're talking about it, man. It really, you can just like see it in your work. It's like it's all about like nostalgia and like just that the old days. And like even the music in the background. It's like everything is like old school, and I guess that's literally it. Like,
no, I think I don't know. It's just, but I think it's also then taking that nostalgia and making it like a present. Like the video, like has that quality, but it's saying like, oh no, be nostalgic about now, like be romanticize the here and now moment of things, right? So it's not too, like, I think the visual, the style, the language is old school, but like, I think the message is supposed to be more like here and now. It's not just supposed to be like, remember the good old, you know what I mean? Like, it's not supposed to be like, remember the good old days. Like, you know, because what am I talking about? The good, I'm 23. Like, it's not, I don't know, it's not really like an old soul thing. It's just more like, you know, people say, oh, it's old soul. But just like, to me, it's more about a simple way of living or telling stories, or like, you know, there's something, you know, beautiful about, like, I've grown up in the 2000s, and I just like remember the simplicity of or like how I remember the 2000s as a simple time. So I think people like that especially because the world is like so complicated and messy right now. It's like just reminding you of like simple things, simple moments, simple, you know, dinners or you know, places or streets or people, that, you know, that kind of stuff.
Do you get many like followers out of Melbourne?
No, we've got a little bit of an audience outside of Melbourne, but it's mostly here, which makes sense.
It makes sense, because as you said, it's like you really just bringing people to the present and to look for these things in their own life.
Yeah.
Let's talk business.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a brand, people love your style, people reach out to you. Obviously, this is great, and but also from a business perspective, maybe it's not so sustainable. You need to learn business. You need to know, especially if you want to grow a team, you need to have business all the time.
Yeah.
Do you now like go after business, or do you just expect business to come to you? And how do you kind of, because I feel like in many cases when someone come to you, it's like you feel a little bit of in power. It's like, oh, they like my style, they're coming to me. But when you start working towards like, oh, we need more clients, I mean, the perception starts to become they need me, and then, you know, you end up sometimes, I'm talking about my personal experience.
Absolutely,
you end up like sacrificing a little bit of like your style and like your what you want to do to make business.
No, we're still figuring that out now. We're in the process of that now. So like, now that I've got a team, I'm obviously having to shoot less stuff myself. So I'm now thinking about the bigger picture, and I don't have like a straightforward answer for you, because like that's every day now what we're figuring out. We are reaching out to people, and we're engaging with brands and businesses, but a lot of work is still, you know, we're running the ads as well. So again, learning how to do all that stuff. Like, there's a million things you do right and wrong with all that and all that stuff. So, but I think, we're definitely still in that process now of like, what does growing look like for us? And like, what does it look like for us? And, answer your question, like, so again, because a lot of the time people have come to us, we don't really have to change that much. I think we internally, before we even accept the job, we're going to go, all right, on this thing, we're going to do this different, we're going to do that different, we're going to do that different, because it's a different client. We want to also make a distinction between the videos we do. All right, that thing, maybe we shouldn't use that kind of music, because you don't want to just be like a poor imitation of yourself.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. Like, we want to go, no, we do this thing, but we can also do a little bit of that. We do this thing, we can also do a little bit of that. And so I think, we kind of, we're just like looking and sussing what brands we want to work with, where is it a right fit.
How are you learning about these things? Like because there was a lot of questions to be answered to. Like, personally, we had to fucking read books. We had to hire a coach. We had to fail so much, and we still lost as fuck.
You know
what I mean?
No, I know.
What's your process like?
Well, I mean, same thing, man. Like, it's just, you're still like what the fuck? Like, how? Like, there's so many unanswered questions of like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Like, how do I figure that out? Like, there's so many, it's still like always lost and kind of like figuring it out. My only thing that I kind of have going for me in terms of, I've known business I didn't like. I literally used to tell myself, like, when I started doing this, like, I'm never going to be a businessman. I'm never going to be, like, I used to tell myself that. And I think over time, obviously, like, I don't have a choice. Like, you know, if you want to grow, if you want to get better, like, you have to learn to step into that role, as you probably have, right? You have to kind of like, I have to learn how to be a businessman.
Yeah.
The one thing I've been very grateful for, you know, I don't have really a lot of family and stuff that are in business or have like strong business knowledge, but my friends, and as I mentioned now, my friend Simon, who runs Milk Bar, he's like runs a clothing brand, and we work a lot together, and we've moved into this office together. And my mate Zach, who runs a jewelry brand, I've had these two friends around me, and also a bunch of others. Spencer and Jackson, these people. Like I grew up. Not grew up. I found this group later on, in probably in my early 20s, and we all kind of different people. We kind of knew each other through friends or through something else. I found this group of people who all have different abilities and skills and business. Some have certain business knowledge and some doing different things. So I kind of use them as a sounding board to take everything off of them. So kind of built a little group around us where I can kind of provide more creative direction, creative advice, and then they can kind of give me more business stuff. So I don't know, yeah, if you find people that are kind of not actually into different things is what I'm saying, finding people who are kind of the opposite of how you are. Because that's what I've actually been lucky that I haven't had many people who are too similar to me. I've had people who are in completely different positions. Business, they're more interested in running businesses, running clothing brands, jewelry brands. So that's actually interesting, just to kind of, in an interesting way, there's a bit of friction there because I can kind of, they're really good at things that I'm not good at, and I'm good at things that they're not good at. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, just to put it, so I'm very lucky that I've had those people around me. Very lucky,
Beautiful, man.
In my life.
Beautiful.
To have those people.
What's the most special video you've created in your life so far?
Video? Well, my special client was definitely Merck, as I said. I always just like loved the Mercedes brand. Like that was literally like, oh, one day I would love to work with Mercedes. And then I remember literally seeing the request in my DMs, and I was like that.
DM as well.
Yeah. I sent the DM on from Mercedes-Benz Australia. I was like, what the...
That's a spam. I'm sure you've had that's a spam.
Yeah. Goes in the spam.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was like nice, because not just because it's a big company, but also I just love, like, I would love, like, I don't drive a Merc right now. I one day to drive one, but that's my favorite car. Like, I would love to drive a 90s Merc. So, like, that was like really cool.
What was the brief like?
It was a bit of an open-ended, like, we'd love to work with you. Not really giving a exact brief. And then I came back with this like crazy scripted concept, like crazy scripted idea. And then they were just like, oh, like that's not really what we're looking for. We'd like you to do something in your style.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing with creative people. Yeah. Sometimes they overthink it, and it's like
exactly right. So like that's our thing, right? Is that we have this niche, and that's a really cool thing and and obviously see the positives of that. But the other side of that is that we're kind of so niched down that when Merck reaches out, it's awesome that Merck is reaching out, but they're like, well, you do this thing so well, like we want you to do that thing. So it's easy. It's kind of easy for us to now grow, not easy, but it's easier to grow into this niche that we're good at. Doesn't mean I always like love that niche or like I love being boxed in, because I'm like, yeah, no, we're capable of doing this, we're capable of doing that. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I put forward this concept, they were like, oh, we're not really looking for that. And, you know, I was just so happy that like, I was like, it's still fucking Mercedes. Like it's still Mercedes. Like, of course I've got to do it. So yeah, I just didn't let it like bother me too much. I was like, oh, we're still gonna do it. It's still gonna be great. And
it's a beautiful video.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasper shot a lot of that. So, kind of like was the first time we kind of worked with a bigger crew, like not bigger crew, but first time I kind of let someone else do a bit of the shooting.
And you directed.
Yeah, kind of directed it, kind of, obviously was just managing them, managing the expectations, had to jump in a lot on the edit, had to like blur out all the number plates. So like, you kind of like step out of shooting. I'm like, oh great, I don't have to shoot anymore. I have to go and shoot the camera. But now I've got to learn how to digitally blur all these number plates frame by frame.
Yeah.
and also blur out other brand logos and things like that. So in the video, we had all this footage, but then you've got other car logos that are very present, or people's faces. So obviously Mercedes would have rules about that. So step out of shooting, but then into like these other challenges of like learning how to do visual effects. Like I don't fucking know how to do that. Didn't know how to do that stuff. So, but it was, to answer your question, like that was the most, like that was like a real milestone moment of like, oh wow, that's really, I'm sure you have those moments with certain, even just like the quality of the experience of the client, or whatever, you're like, oh wow, like this is great. I love doing this. Like this is what I do it for.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt with it. I was like, yeah, this is what I do it for. Like even if they didn't like the original concept, even if there's these problems, that I'm like, this is, for all the headaches, this is still like, this is what I love doing. Like this is why I do it.
You feel like you're on the top of the world. It's like, oh, my thing is like a thing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are you, like, what's for the future for you right now? Like, what's next?
Well, we're starting to, obviously, just continuing our client work, continuing that side of things. And then we're starting to write a television show. And so that's kind of like very early days. And we're kind of like, just in the early process of writing that, but we're not rushing into that, because I think there's so much to do.
It's a massive.
There's so much work. There's so much on the work side of things to organize. And
that's crazy. A TV show. Holy shit.
It's just, I mean, we're starting it, but like we're gonna take our time with it. Like really take our time with it. And, but I know that's kind of like where we would love to be in like probably 2 years, like being able to make that. Maybe sooner, we'll see. But there's so much. Yeah, it's just building. Just to keep doing it, man. Just to do it. Just to be able to do it every day, every month. Like that's kind of like just building a foundation for it now. That's what I'm interested in. Like, I want to do movies and TV, but if that doesn't happen for a while, like I don't know, I'm not like dying to do it right now. You're
so young, man. You got so much time. Do you still go and shoot like for fun now at the streets?
I want to try. Yeah, obviously just been so flat out with client work. I want to get to a point where the client stuff is so organized and so taken care of that I can afford with my time to go and have fun. You know what I mean?
Don't you think, like, I don't know, do you think like people, especially your followers, look forward for that?
Absolutely, you're right.
How do you like manage those expectations?
I got like right now we have so much stuff that is client work. So for example, like we're doing a project with Carlton Football Club, but I think that is very much like people will really enjoy that. And I think people will really enjoy, again, generally what we're doing. But I think, if we just went for 2 years and didn't do a single thing that was like passion or you could like, if I felt like it was missing that, the audience would feel like it's missing that. Right. So I don't know, I just try and keep my finger on the pulse of like, like we're doing too much of this. Let's do a bit of that. I hope that obviously, I might be wrong, but I think that the audience, the people who are following are becoming invested in the journey that we're on. So hopefully they see these big brand projects we do and they go, oh, wow, the thing that they're still doing is there, but they're getting paid for it now. And they don't turn away. I don't think they're actually turning away. I think it's actually people are becoming more invested.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Of the brand work, right?
So, but then again, I think there's still a fine line. Like I think there could be times where we go too far with it. And I still feel that way. I'm still like, there are things, maybe when we put that out, like, it's a bit, like, it's all right, but like, it's not exactly who we are or whatever. Like, I'll just be honest about that. But yeah, we definitely want to do more passion. It was just so easy when I was 20, 21 to do it, because I was literally just like, the money I would pocket from one job was great. It was awesome. It was like, yeah, the money's great. I'm living at home, it's fine. But, you know, now obviously, you know, you get older, and I'm sure you know, like, you get older and you're just like, oh no, there's things I want to do, and there's a position I want to be in a job. You know, there's a life I'm looking to have. So you know, you gotta balance all these things, and eventually, hopefully, still find the time to do enough to keep the spirit there of like what we do and that. So
it's tough, man. Like, when you work in media, it's like really hard to grow other brands and then grow your brand as well. So, yeah. I mean, you'll just get there, you know, with the right people, and
absolutely.
It will be a lot of like ups and downs.
No, absolutely.
Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's average.
Yeah.
I got a fantasy question for you to wrap this up.
Yep.
If a time and place wasn't a thing, and you get the chance to collaborate with any person, dead or alive, or
this is great,
brand or whatever, anything.
This question gonna go.
Who would it be?
I'm gonna fucking answer it. This question's gonna go on for 20 minutes. This question's gonna be a long answer. Like, brand, it's the brand I would collaborate with would be, well, again, like Merc was like one of those like dream brands, but like Ralph Lauren, I'd love to do like Ralph Lauren. I love Ralph. I love the brand. So
it's
like,
so your style.
So there'd be a great alignment there. I'd love to do Ralph Lauren. In terms of brand, in terms of a person,
they could be dead.
Yeah, I'd love to like shoot. Like, this is random, but I'd love to like shoot like a Rolling Stones concert. Like, I'd love to direct. Like, I'd love to shoot shoot the concert and shoot it in my style, but like capture it with our lenses and our style, and capture like a full Rolling Stone. But like, obviously they're a bit old now, but like, I love to capture them in like the 90s, which to me was like the peak of I love Rolling Stones in the 90s. Like, Rolling Stones on like one of their tours in the 90s in like a, you know, a medium-sized or even a large venue, but just like shooting it.
I love this answer, man.
Yeah. Something like that. Like, I just like a concert, or like to work with like a band I really like. Probably like Rolling Stones would be the answer.
Beautiful, man. Anything else would you like?
No, thank you so much. This has been great. Yeah, awesome questions. Yeah, thank you, man.
That's all right.
Best one I've done. Thank you. You've done an amazing job.
Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
Amazing questions, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm humbled.
No, it was really nice.
I learned a lot from you as well.
Thank you, man.
Honestly just appreciate the passion, the way you talk about your craft, and
thank you.
I also really appreciate that you have such clarity about who you are and where you want to be, and it's rare, and I have no doubt like you're gonna be in very good places in the future.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, good luck.
No, thank you, man. Cheers.
Thanks
for having me. I remember both of you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right.
Appreciate it, brother.